Hi, and welcome to another edition of Week in Review at Blue Book Services. I'm Greg Johnson, and I'm joined as always by Pamela Riemenschneider. She is on site.
Woo! At a big show. I am in Montreal at the Canadian Produce Marketing Association convention and trade show, and this is actually afternoon of the last day. And if you can tell, I mean, it is lively. I just had a chat with CPMA's Ron Lemaire about this year's attendance, and he didn't have final numbers, but he said this has far exceeded their expectations. And honestly, this is exactly what I expected. We've had a few shows in the States to kind of start us off, but this is the Canadian market's first chance to get together in 2 years, and people are really excited to be in person. And so it's kind of old news for us to be like, oh, together again. And no. These guys are super happy to be here and grabbing tchotchkes.
What was a theme this year? Was there any kind of theme to the show or the education?
Industry reunited, I believe, was the theme of the show. I sat in on a couple of sessions. One of them was about sustainability. I'm about to go to one about supply chain issues, which of course has been a real big problem for Canada. Although I did talk to Ron about that, and he said that a lot of the border crossing issues are being resolved and have been resolved. The U.S. Trade Ambassador to Canada, I believe that's who it was, we cut the ribbon here to open the show floor. So I think that's the signal to a lot of folks that the U.S. and Canada border crossing issues are open for business and are being resolved.
Well, that would be great news. We probably ought to wait till we hear a little more details on that because there's a lot to unravel.
Right. There's a lot to unravel. Here at the show, though, I'm seeing a lot of emphasis on indoor growing, sustainable growing, sustainable packaging. I actually talked to a CEA grower about our what I'm calling the golden goose of controlled atmosphere of growing, volumes of romaine, tight heads of romaine, and I've talked to a few people who are figuring it out. So a lot of new things are in the works for a lot of those categories of the produce industry. Also, a ton of berries, whether they're grown indoors or outdoors. A lot of the greenhouse growers are going into the berry deal. And of course, we've seen a lot of movement there in the States as well. But just, Canada is almost always a big market for the greenhouse industry. So a lot of these guys are out here in force, but with a lot of lettuce and a lot of berries.
All right. Well, we had another story this week that we've been anticipating for quite a long time. And I love it when it comes out right as we're about to send out our morning newsletter, and then we have to adjust, especially when our partner is in another country. So I'm going to talking about is the annual Dirty Dozen list from the Environmental Working Group. It dropped this morning, and the industry is all ready for it. We ran the story about what's in it, so it's pretty much the same, most of the same dozen that are usually in it. There's particular emphasis targeting strawberries, spinach, leafy greens. So those industries will be especially bitter toward this list. But we also have a guest column from PBH, and we've had coverage from the Alliance for Food and Farming all week. And of course, there's more coming. So the industry is ready to fight back against this. I've been just doing a quick scan of the mainstream news coverage. It's not huge, and I'm already seeing some mainstream coverage about pushback on whether or not this is a legitimate list that consumers should pay much attention to.
Well, and whether or not it's a legitimate list, whether consumers should pay attention to, especially with what we've got going on with inflation and price increases. In general, organic is more expensive. And so at a time when people are already strapped for cash, are we really going to worry about something that poses no risk? The numbers show it poses no risk. And as far as it coming out right before press time, that's what we have. Stop the presses. It's a lot easier to do that digitally.
That's true. We did. We can stop the presses, change it around, get it out. This digital world, there's a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, another late breaking story was, I mean, another Grub Market acquisition. But those are becoming old news almost.
Yeah, that's right. They acquired a tropical company with offices in both California and New Jersey. So further expansion for Grub Market. They just keep on buying, keep on expanding.
I mean, where is this going to go? What is their end game here? I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we talked to them before about it, but I mean, how many companies do you need? It's becoming a little bit like Thanos, and acquiring all of it. But it's interesting for us to see, and of course, the industry is paying attention. So that's why we continue to follow this story, of course.
Well, they say they're all about digital transformation, so we're right along with them here.
For sure. Well, I think I'm going to get back to the show floor. I don't have a whole lot of time left, but as you can see, it's still pretty crowded. So I'm still working my way into a lot of these booths. And then we've got, of course, got the annual banquet tonight. This morning, however, if you go to Produce Blue Book's LinkedIn, I did post the annual awards breakfast winners. We saw Alain Routier from Prochaine La Rose was the Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Gwillimdale Farms was the Fresh Health Award winner, and then a new award this year, the Young Professionals Award, was given to Stuart Lepage from OPI. So you can see photos from that on our social media posts, and some other ones, my store check tours. I've got a couple more to post to that, and then I don't leave till Friday afternoon, so I got some time if I can. Don't party too hard tonight at the banquet.
Not always easy to do.
It is CPMA, man.
It is. It is. They feed you and keep you hydrated.
Well, that's it for the Produce Reporter Weekend Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up. Say hi to Frank, everyone.
Hey, that's Frank. Hey, I don't know if you know, but I went to Kansas.
I wonder when this was going to come up.
And they're champions of NCAA now.
Congratulations, cool. Mr. Jayhawk, for your NCAA basketball victory, I guess. I heard